Sally, Dave, if he shows up. Otherwise, we'll jump to Alan and we'll save the final section for Dave if and when he gets here. So, good evening. We're going to need you to do introduce yourself, make sure we know who you are for the record, and off you go.
My name is Dan Lares, a 60-year-plus resident of Bloomington. This is Paul King. He's a friend of mine, and he's part of the Hall of Fame with me. And we're here to discuss history in Bloomington that seems to be fading. Bloomington ice gardens, or any ice gardens, history is a big part. The city's history is there, okay? And in that ice garden, there was 148 pictures of people who were in the Bloomington Hall of Fame. I had to take them down because, and I understand there was a elevator going there, what have you. I want to keep them there and move them over to a different spot, but I'm not getting much help from Park and Rec. We met with them. It was a battle to get a meeting with them. We got it. And we need much less space. We can go down to this size here versus this size, and I can do it with 20 feet. I would like to get 25 feet or so on the south wall in rink 1. We were on the north wall, but it's going to be gone. I just want to be there where everybody sees it. People come in there. I get calls, get comments, been going on from people who built this city, like John Bianchi and Artie Johnson. Their photos are up there. They're now in my garage. I feel like they should go back up there. And I don't understand the problems with Park and Rec not wanting them up there, but they told me they have a mural going on that wall. I asked what the mural was, got no response. So I'm assuming some kind of DEI mural or something, but I don't know that. But I would like them right up there. And it's just a very important part of Bloomington, the history. And there was, in the Bloomington briefing, there was going to say, have meetings with the stakeholders. Never got a call. I had 50 feet of wall there. I have 0. Never got a call, never anything was going on. So, Paul, you want to say a few things?
Yeah, the big thing is the history. You know, it goes back to Gene Kelly and some of those people, first Park and Rec, guy in Bloomington. And
not the dancer.
What?
Park and Rec guy, not the dancer, Gene Kelly. I just wanted to
different guy.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah. So, I mean, a lot of these people have made Bloomington sports, BAA and athletic directors at Jefferson and, coaches. And so it's a lot of history going here, and I don't want to lose it. That's the main thing.
And there's no politics. The only way to get in there, you have to be 50 years old and give 10 years of your volunteer time to Bloomington. So it isn't like it's a popular, you have to have done something to get there, okay? And if you look in the first piece of paper that I gave you, we didn't start this. This was started by Park and Rec way back. And it's been going for 40 years. And I kind of feel we have some grandfathered in clause there. I've been told by Park and Rec, what if someone else wants to put a Hall of Fame? Well, we've been there 40 years. Us. I just feel like we deserve a little something from the city. But I also, under time, I need an answer because I can get these scanned down to this size here. I need to do it in the month of February. They have a half price sale. I can get them done for $2 a piece. Okay. Otherwise, they go up to $4 a piece. So I need an answer from you guys here. So with that, any questions?
Well, I appreciate you guys being here. And Dan, you and I talked on the phone.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with you 100% about the importance of the history of the city, the importance of not forgetting, just remembering the folks who helped build this city and celebrating the folks who built the city and the championships won by the different sports teams and so on. Without question, I think there needs to be a place of that in some way, shape, or form. You know full well the building's under renovation, so everything's got to be gone by February 1st.
We have it all down. It's in my garage, like I said. I can put it back up when it gets done.
Yep.
I just want to do it then, but I got to get you guys to say yes.
Well, what I think the yes that needs to happen, working with Park and Rec, we got to figure this out some way. There's a lot of wall in there, right? There's going to be a lot of room, but there's also there are considerations that I know are thinking about and want to make sure that they accommodate anybody who would want something. We're going to have an answer for that. Yes, you've been there for 40 years, but if somebody comes and says, well, what about us? So there's a lot of questions. I know they're working on it. This just kind of came to light. You brought it to light to me.
Yep.
Talked to the internal folks, been looking at what they have in terms of what they've said and what they've been looking at in the internal conversations that have gone on at Park and Rec. And honestly, right now, the answer that I can give you is right now we don't know because there's no finalized decisions. But I get that, the month of February, if it's a 2-for-1 deal, absolutely will,
If I invest the money of 148 things, I need to know.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Does it help you or anybody else to know how many of us support what he's talking about?
No, I think we probably have a pretty good idea, but thanks. Anyway. Good question, Mona?
Yeah, so the memorials that are there now, the pictures and everything, all of that is owned by this Bloomington Adult Sports Association, is
Yep.
that right? Okay. And that's all sports in the city of Bloomington, not just hockey, right?
Correct.
Oh,
Okay,
It's anybody. Like I said, you have
I've seen it before, but I
Yeah.
wasn't sure if it was
50,
that organization.
50 years old and
Yeah.
10 years of volunteer time. That's how you get elected.
Yeah, okay, awesome, thanks.
Yep.
Appreciate it.
Other questions, council? So we have, we continue to have the conversation with staff. We told them we need to work this out. We need to find a solution and to work it out. And so that's the goal and that is the plan. That's the direction. I know from administration and informally from the mayor's office. Let's get this done. Let's figure out a way because there's got to be a compromise that we can find here.
Because like I say, there's a 200-foot wall at least. We're only asking for like 20 feet, 25 feet to put it up. We had 50 feet. We can compromise down. I can get 4 of these in the place of 1.
Sure.
So we're trying to make our work with you. We're not looking.
Very quick, Lon, and then we got to move on.
Yeah, just, how many people generally speaking get added every year?
4 or 5.
Okay, so we want to make sure we accommodate that too, so it's not just the ones you have.
Well,
but-
I can get 125 on the first board. So I have another 75 open for the next board.
Yeah, gotcha, okay, thanks, yep,
In my lifetime.
appreciate that, yeah, thank you.
Along.
All right.
All right?
All right.
Very good. Thank you, gentlemen. Thanks for being here tonight.
Appreciate it.
Sally?
I am once again requesting an internal affairs investigation. There should be an internal affairs investigation in the police complaints, the request for prosecution, and the 8 CAD reports should be corrected or removed from the record. As I stated at the last meeting and in an email to the council, Restore the 9 addressed the council for almost a year. Restore the 9 documented the area and provided the council with data. That is not unreasonable. Residents of Martin Luther Manor took pictures and provided the council with data. Again, that is not unreasonable. The residents took pictures of similar concerns such as parking, semis, and late night use, which did not include through the night as Smith Park neighborhood is subjected to. Unlike 9 Mile Creek and Martin Luther Manor, Darul Farouk has proposed multiple uses over multiple years and continues to be overused and non-compliant. Examples include opening a restaurant, university, weekend school that was reported online to have 1,000, leasing to a semi-pro football team, proposing a dome for the field. There were businesses operating from their parking lot, such as someone making keys and another vacuuming vehicles. The property even inquired about changing its zoning, which is residential. An example of multiple proposed uses from 2017 and 2018 includes requests for a daycare and a charter school. Note to council, there were 2 city code amendments regarding daycare and institutional uses. The city code amendments require institutional uses to be adjacent to an arterial or a collector. DAF is not, and yet the city approved an expansion of an institutional use to property that was and is overused and non-compliant. Concerning a charter school, on July 10th, 2017, Success Academy inquired about a certificate of occupancy for a school and Bloomington Fire responded. Typically, we get a form and that the location they are looking restricts them to 60 student teachers based on the cup. An email dated December 11, 2017 from Jennifer Nelson with the Minnesota Department of Education states, the school's charter indicates that it expects to serve up to 325 students in grades K through 12. It is currently serving fewer, so operating within its contract. The property had a conditional use permit from 2011 for a private school for 60. The school did not open, and yet the Minnesota Department of Education wrote that it expected the school to serve up to 325 students. That is not normal. August 2017, Success Academy opened at the Darul Farouk property. Success Academy told the city that they would limit the school to 60, but did not. They had over 80 students. The city informed Darul Farouk that they could not expand an institutional use, but the school expanded anyway. 5 months later, on January 11, 2018, Darul Farouk inquired about a daycare for 264 children. Darul Farouk was informed the daycare they inquired about could not be expanded beyond the approved occupancy of 20 persons because of 2 city code amendments regarding daycare and institutional uses. Darrell Farouk was informed they could not expand an institutional use daycare, but had already expanded the charter school without a conditional use permit. On February 12, 2018, there was a conditional use permit application to expand an institutional use, a charter school from 60 to 84 students, and later was approved. 7 months later, September 10th, 2018, there was a CUP to expand the charter school again, this time from 84 students to 130 students. The point, the city did not have a problem with Restore the Nine or residents of Martin Luther Manor, but as the former city manager stated, he was unable to understand the concerns raised about Darrell Farouk. That makes no sense. The Planning Commission meeting for the CUP to expand from 84 students to 130 students was held August 23rd, 2018. The executive director and principal of Success Academy requesting the expansion is the person who called the police the Friday before the Planning Commission meeting, August 17, 2018. He knew who I was. I had talked to him about my concerns with the overuse and non-compliant use of Darrell Farouk and the use of the playground by the school. I said hi to him the night of the Planning Commission meeting. We spoke to each other at the playground after the Planning Commission meeting as well. I did not find out until later that he is the one who called the police. The point, the person who made the call to the police knew who I was, knew where I lived, would have known the students were my neighbors who lived behind me, would have the video that shows the students approached me and knew I was concerned with the overuse and non-compliant use of the property and concerned about the property requesting expansions. The day before the Planning Commission meeting, August 22nd, 2018, 2 detectives and a police liaison were at my house. Regardless that the executive director knew who I was, where I lived, there was not a violation of law. And when he called the police, it should not have resulted in a report. Again, there should not have been a report. 4 students approached me and I talked with them. That is not a violation of law. I was accused of video recording the students, which I had not, and it is also not a violation of law. Additionally, inaccuracies include the report indicating 3 students when there were 4, and accusing me of leaving my grandchildren at the park, and I did not. There was another child at the park whose parent was sitting in their car. The police should not have written this complaint or the complaint in 2019 because there was no violation of law. The city attorney should not have requested that I be prosecuted, and my name should not be in 8 CAD police reports that I am aware of. These complaints, the request for prosecution and the 8 CAD reports should be corrected and removed from the record. And the city stating that there has been an investigation, that it has gone through both civil litigation and internal affairs investigative process, and allegations in both processes were settled not in her favor is inaccurate. There was not an investigation and there should be. I sued the city because the council passed an unconstitutional city code and was applying for an unconstitutional state statute that was determined to be mute because of legislation that changed its constitutionality. Additionally, during the case, the city clarified the state statute did not apply to me, and yet the city attorney had asked the county to prosecute me. Additionally, as noted in the civil 19, et cetera, opinion, it states the city does not dispute that Ness is a prevailing party and post-judgment interest on the total judgment amount of $54,023.66. That's it.
Sally, the 2 questions I heard in that, the request for an internal investigation, we've talked about this before, and we're not going to be doing an internal investigation. And police records are fixed public records. They reflect the police officer's observation and recollection at the time. We have no process of going in to correct or fix or do with police records. That's not going to happen either. So those were your 2 questions. I've given you an answer to both of those. I appreciate the context, the background information you provided. Alan, and let me just ask, Dave, is Dave here yet? Dave yet, okay.
Yeah, sure, whatever.
Good evening.
Yeah, Alan Reddy. I'm here representing Bloomington Parents Alliance, my colleague John Peters. So I think everyone should have received my email requesting the cease and desist on the Omar Bondarud award video. I did see that it was taken down today. I don't know how long that it will last. I do want to point out, though, that in the video with the council chambers where that video was shown, that still is available. So I believe that probably should be edited out too. But I guess what I really wanted to accomplish here tonight is kind of set the record straight on a few things and kind of talk about what Bloomington Parents Alliance is about, what we're doing, and frankly, talk about what we think some next steps should be, just in related to this situation and other things. So, just first off, the reason why we asked for the video to be taken down was around the multiple violations around fair use. And one of those is the continued assertion in there that we have an association with Moms for Liberty. So I'm sure there's a lot of things that we agree with Moms for Liberty on a number of issues, but we are not any affiliate or chapter of Moms for Liberty. We have never taken a single dime from them or requested any money from them. And this type of accusation is being used in the community to try and discredit us and basically say we're just, some sort of well-funded proxy for state and national groups, and that we're not about Bloomington. We are entirely a grassroots organization. We're representing, Bloomington district families. We're representing Bloomington residents and what they think needs to be improved in the schools and how we can go about doing that. So that is a really important distinction. And really the second part to me that really is just very frustrating is that, the accusations and the, the implication that we're somehow trying to erase LGBTQ PIA2S plus representation in Bloomington Public Schools library collections. That is, absolutely not the case. The facts of the matter are that we challenge books on the basis of sexually explicit content, regardless of orientation or gender identity, and the gender and orientation topics that we challenge in elementary and middle school books were based on whether or not they're age appropriate according to evidence-based scientific and child development standards. And just for more context, a total of 29 books were challenged. So when you consider that the Bloomington Public Schools contains hundreds of physical titles on the classroom shelves and the media center shelves, in addition to the hundreds of titles in the LGBTQPTI2S plus representation, there's hundreds of books, maybe on the order of 1,000 books there. And we challenged 29 based on age appropriateness and sexually explicit content. So I feel like those assertions were completely unwarranted, and they really harm our reputation in the community because we are trying to do some good work. We're really trying to make a difference, and we feel protect the rights of students and families. So, and furthermore, the reason why this is extremely frustrating is that one of our group members has been targeted several times for harassment, receiving threatening and taunting packages at their house. So I think I talked with you and Jamie Verbrugge before the November election. I believe it was at the October 28th listening session, and I related to what was going on and what was happening. And I don't think I got the response I wanted from City Manager Verbrugge, but this is harassment that has occurred, and frankly, the reason why this, I can't, I don't want to relate one thing to another, but, we did have, I believe your brother spoke at a school board listening session, and the words he used right now really, came across as threatening to a lot of people. And I mean, I can read them off if you want, but basically we felt this, the first instance of a threat occurred a few weeks after that. So I don't know if it's coincidence or what, but it really had a chilling effect on a lot of people. They did not want to show up at the school listening sessions to speak up anymore. They did not want to participate in any social media discussions. And frankly, it really kept them from raising the concerns within their own schools, that's what we want. We want them talking to the principals, the teachers in the schools. And if they are afraid to do that, then that is the biggest problem. So I guess I don't understand how this award video was approved, including this information that was, calling out BPA, how that got approved when there was a lot of prior knowledge around this, between yourself and the city manager. So that doesn't sit right with us in BPA, and I don't think it should sit right with anyone else here tonight. So I don't know if there's any comment on that or.
I appreciate you being here. And I will say a couple of things. First of all, I agree 100% harassment of that kind is absolutely unacceptable. And please, if it happens, that's what 911 is for. I mean, call the police and make sure there's an official record of it, and absolutely do that. You're correct in that the video we took the video down from our YouTube channel and from Facebook and that kind of thing. We're looking at what our options are. I mean, can we edit out that certain part so it becomes acceptable and it's not, it doesn't do what you're saying it does. As for the video that's part of the city council meeting, much like I just told Sally, there's really, it becomes very complicated when we start talking about editing public record. And I mean, it becomes very, I don't know of an official avenue to do that because it is official, it's the official record of the city of Bloomington. And to go in and to edit it in some way, shape, or form, frankly, I don't think it's legal. And secondly, I don't think, even if it was legal, I don't even know if there are steps laid out to do that kind of thing.
Well,
so
at a minimum, could you put a disclaimer on there that portions of this video, you know, are not approved by the city or not endorsed by the city? I mean, that might be something worthwhile.
that we could do that. I mean, yeah, we could certainly consider that. And then your questions about how it was, the video was made. Actually, the video followed the steps that we typically do when we're doing a video. Our communication staff goes out, interviews the folks who are principals in the video, gets the information and puts it together to tell the story in the best way. Honestly, the first time I saw the video was at the council meeting also. So I don't know if flags went up within our communication staff, if it was just part of the story that they were trying to tell. I'm honestly, I think it was just part of the process that they typically do. And to be honest, I don't think they do a whole lot of fact checking when they do that. I mean, there just hasn't been a reason to when we're doing public interest or human interest stories through our communications.
Right. Well, is there any, are you aware of what role the human rights chairperson might have played in this?
I know it went through the Omar Bondarud Award, comes through the Human Rights Commission every year. And so I don't know if it was specifically the chair or if it was part of the whole group that made this decision.
Well, and I bring that up because the human rights chairperson, I mean, they have been leading efforts in the community to oppose our group. And it's no secret that the human rights chair has a pretty controversial history with online attacks against other Bloomington groups and individuals. So I fully acknowledge the chairperson has every right to participate in the public square as a private citizen, even if it does lack civility. But they do not get to use their position and influence in the city government to attack another group of residents and put a target on their back. That
and to say that is as perhaps unfounded or irresponsible as to say that she did that without actually having proof of that is about as irresponsible as having something in a video that may not be correct.
Yeah, I'm saying if that were true, that's why I was asking what role that the chairperson had to play in that, because I mean, these are matters of record too of what's been said online. So you can agree or disagree with opinions that were expressed as a private citizen. But I'm saying if there's involvement and you turn around and you use that to go after another group of residents, I mean, that to me crosses a line. So I'm really concerned about that. And
Councilmember D'Alessandro, quick question.
Yeah, I do have a quick question. Thanks for being here. My recollection of that video, I've watched it a couple of times since I got your email. The comments that were made by a private citizen. So they were the opinions expressed by the individuals in that group. There wasn't any endorsement by the city other than the fact that we supported the making of the video. So I guess my question to you would be, what do you you're making a public statement here, which,
right.
Other people could refute your commentary or whatever. That would be fine.
Right.
And I get it. You have the right to do that. The question I would ask is, it wasn't an editorial video, right? So it doesn't speak on behalf of the city of Bloomington. They don't ever do that. So is the issue that there was this assumption made in the public square that somehow there was an endorsement or an affiliation? Or is it clear would a reasonable person, I guess to use the legal term, say that came out of the mouth of that person in that video and it does not necessarily express my opinion or any other council member's opinion or any city government opinion or whatever? Like, how are we supposed to look at that? Because I could argue like that's a slippery slope on the First Amendment grounds, right? And so I'm just curious about what you are thinking about that.
Sure.
And if we could, we're over time here, but just, if you could respond, I'd appreciate it. Just, her questions tend to,
I know, I'm sorry,
Right.
I'd like to provide context, so
Right.
so it makes sense, as opposed to just throwing a question
Right.
out there.
so if you could answer, I'd appreciate it. Yep.
First and foremost, this is being put out on, a city website, city social media channels. So you're responsible for that content. So there's some sort of implicit endorsement if you put something out there. If I record something a private citizen and I say something super offensive, I don't think the city is going to say, well, it's their First Amendment right, we're going to put that out there, even if it smeared, half of our resident
It
population.
gives the impression of tacit approval.
That's why I'm asking the clarification, yeah. So we have public access, for example, and people can go out there and say anything they want to, and that's also provided by the city, but we don't govern it, and we don't editorialize it. So I'm trying to figure out what the right answer.
And this is a city sanctioned, sponsored, endorsed, promoted award and the video that goes with it. So this is not, arm's length, like, oh, we just provide a space for people to produce content and, do their own thing. We actually are, managing this and promoting it.
Appreciate your helping me with the line.
We're over time here, but I appreciate your being here. And yes, the video is down. We're trying to figure out how to address it.
Okay. All right. Appreciate that. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you. Dave, are you here yet? Dave Gross? All right. If anybody has something in 2 minutes, we can go, but we got to be out of here by, we literally got to be out of here at 6:15. So
Should take 2 minutes. My name is Tracy Greenfield. I represent a church here in the South Twin Cities, Bethel's Rock Church. And we are currently looking for a building, and there's a building inside of your city limits in Bloomington, Southland, Slumberland Furniture. It's right now it's currently zoned as a CR1. And right now what we're doing is we're just doing the groundwork to try to figure out what the city council would approve or disapprove, your grounds of what you would do if a church would be okay to be in there. We've toured the building. We've talked with Slumberland, their realtor, Brian Brisky. They've worked with churches before as a company and sold to churches before. They're very interested. We're very interested in the building, but we obviously know that zoning is a thing in places of assembly. So we wanted to call today and come today and just find out where you guys would stand on a church being in that building.
I think your first call, Tracy, needs to go to Nick Johnson in our planning staff.
Okay.
And we all know enough to be dangerous about planning. It's everything about planning, and he would be able to answer your questions very, very directly. And
Nick
Johnson.
Nick Johnson.
We'll get you the phone number here very quickly. But yeah, Nick Johnson is the person to call, and he can definitely help you out.
Okay. And even in the context of approving a rezoning, because that comes through y'all.
Yep, and he can walk you through the steps, how it all will work.
Okay.
It's it's a process, like everything.
It is.
Yep, but and that he can help you out with all of that.
All right.
So, all right. Great, thanks.
So 2 minutes, I'm fast. That's easy.
And
I'll sweat off that.
for 6:15 council, we got to get downstairs. I look for a motion to, don't go away, Tracy, we'll get you the phone number. I look for a motion to adjourn tonight.
So moved.
Second.
We got a motion and a second to adjourn this evening. In favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. We are adjourned. Thank you all for being here tonight. Appreciate it.
This guy in the green. Everybody wants to get on the list for next.
Okay. Yeah, we were out of time. If you want to get on the, do you want to get on the list for next time? This is the woman to talk to.
I'll be next time.
Yes, it will be next time.
Yep.
Yep, February 10th.
Yep.
Does that work? Why don't you come on over here, or I'll come to you, but
I can come back.
Got Nick's phone number? Thank you.
Yeah, we're gonna come back because we didn't get enough time. He's actually here with me, so.
I'm curious.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, we'll just put our names in.